Yo, what's going on, guys? Can you see where I am? Not in a car, not in a hotel room, not even in an Airbnb. I'm finally off of I don't know why the country accent just happened. I'm finally off of vacation. I'm extremely excited to be back because not only is iOS 13 just days away, while I was gone, some pretty nuts iPhone rumors, not only for this year, but also for next dropped. This year, like audio Bluetooth sharing finally said to be on the way, a feature that my Android friends have rubbed in my face for years. And in-screen Touch ID could actually be coming to the 2020 iPhones, which is something that I think can be incredibly interesting. So as always, if you're excited for this video, drop a like down below. It always helps me out, and hit subscribe so you stay up to date on the latest Apple news. Let's go ahead and get started. So in case there was any doubt in your mind that the 2019 iPhones would not be coming out this year, there should not be any more. They are officially confirmed now, not by Apple, but from a third-party source, the Eurasian Economic Commission. My Smart Price, who has done a really great job with this kind of work historically, was able to obtain the documents indicating that Apple has registered not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 through 10 iPhone models for 2019, but 11 new iPhone models. Maybe that's hinting at the fact that it's going to be called the iPhone 11, or maybe it's just a number. We don't really know yet, but they are official. Whenever products get registered here, it means Apple has applied for marketing permissions to actually sell them without question. Like, Apple's not skipping this year. They're coming out in September of 2019 because, you know, we knew that, but now we actually know it. So before jumping into anything else, I actually want to blindside you with a feature that I didn't even preview just a second ago pertaining to the 2019 iPhones. We had heard this a long time ago that 3D Touch was going away on not just like continuing on the iPhone XR line, that it was already gone there. It's going away too on $1,000 and $1,100 models. The iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Max also said to be getting rid of 3D Touch. And in a fresh note from Barclays issued to Mac Rumors, who has a decent track record for this kind of thing, they've said without question, they just visited their industry sources, Apple is not planning to put 3D Touch in any of the 2019 iPhones, which is so frustrating considering, like, I don't know, it's not even 4 or 5 years old and it's already going away. I was personally a huge fan of 3D Touch, obviously with haptic touch, which is what Apple replaced it with on the iPhone XR. It's like a workaround. It works almost just as well, but there was something cool about the pressure sensitive screen that I enjoyed because it worked in places where the standard long press and hold didn't work. That's going away from the 2019 iPhones. Like, no matter how many times I think about it, how I try to pitch it or like understand it, I still don't get how Apple can, you know, take away a feature and sell a phone for the same price. That was like the flagship feature of the iPhone 6S. Just gone now. Now, of course, to balance out the bad news, it just so happens that Makatakara has actually shared some incredibly good news for the 2019 iPhones. Just like we heard previously that the 2019 iPhone 11 and 11 Max will be able to charge things like AirPods and possibly even the Apple Watch, like putting your phone as the wireless charging pad and the AirPods on top of it. I'm personally really excited for that. That was a Samsung feature or Android feature first. Apple's doing the same thing a second time this year. They are taking a long-running Android feature of being able to share Bluetooth audio to more than one device at a time. Now, this is also one of those things, like, it's been on the market for years. What made, 2019 the year that Apple said, this is when the feature is important to us? It is really beneficial, though, because if you and your friends both have AirPods or wireless Bluetooth headphones, you'll now be able to share that audio 2 ways. I wish there was like a 3-way, a 4-way option, and it's especially handy. Let's say you're throwing a party at the pool, the kids are there, grandma's taking a dive. You can not only play that music on one pool speaker that has Bluetooth, but 2 speakers that have Bluetooth, because again, you can split that audio 2 ways instead of just having the direct one-way Bluetooth. Seriously though, my friends would always show me like, how can you not do this on your $1,000 iPhone? And I was like, you know what? I think I got bamboozled by Apple. So let me know down below if you guys are gonna be using this feature. And of course, it's good to see that Apple is bringing some extra stuff to the table here and not just removing 3D Touch and not adding anything else. Now, specifically for the iPhone 11R or like XR Mark II in 2019, there is gonna be 1 extra gigabyte of RAM added. Right now it sits at 3. In 2019, it is going to jump up to 4 gigabytes total. So a small tidbit there, but just wanted to share that with all of you if you're looking at the iPhone 11R, 10R Mark II. Also, we saw the back glass for that leaked a little bit after I made my last colors video, so this is what the actual colors of lavender and green are going to look like. So that's our look at the colors for the iPhone 11R too. Now, before jumping into the 2020 iPhones, the last mention of detail for the 2019 iPhones is that they're going to not have many changes over the 2018 iPhones. iPhones, or in that case, the 2017, or I don't know, even if you go back that far, maybe 2016 iPhones. Like, they are not going to be dramatically different. Obviously, the biggest change is going to be the triple camera setup on the 11 and 11 Max on the back, the brand new dual camera setup pictured right here on the second gen iPhone 11 or 11R, but there's no historic or major changes coming. Apple has saved that for 2020. Now, moving forward into 2020, Apple's already working on those as well. It's very easy to think like, oh, Apple just works on these phones for 6 or 12 months out of a year, and then they just come out. No, these are years, many, many months into the making, and the same is going to be true for the 2020 iPhones. We've heard there's going to be some crazy laser systems on the back to enhance AR, like big camera upgrades, much bigger than 2019, will be coming in 2020. Today we have some info on some other features that could be coming, and I, fingers crossed, really want this first one to be true. Touch ID in full screen form could be on the way, again according to a research note by Barclays issued to Mac Rumors. Now, I know the whole Face ID versus Touch ID debate was settled on the iPhone 10, but there's definitely good evidence that Apple was working on in-screen Touch ID, because if you remember back to the original iPhone 10, there were so many conflicting rumors like every other day. One said it's going to be in-screen Touch ID, the other said it's going to be this crazy futuristic facial scanning tech. Now, Apple settled with Face ID, but there's no question that it's not perfect. Touch ID with a physical sensor is like twice as fast as Face ID as well. And honestly, after using Face ID on the iPhone 10 and the 10s for a while, and even the 10R, I didn't really miss Touch ID until I got a new 2018 or 2019 iPad when it came out and tried Touch ID there, and I was like, wow, this is still really good. It is so much faster, even if it is slightly less secure than the facial scanning Face ID technology. Now, who knows if, again, like with the iPhone 10, Apple's just experimenting with this technology, but I do think it would be really cool if they kept both, actually, like a lot of Android phones do. So you had facial recognition scanning in addition to that Touch ID sensor in screen. Let's say you wanted like top tier security, you could do basically two-factor authentication rather than just your face or just a fingerprint. You could do a combination of scan your fingerprint first while it authenticates your face for this insane high level of security that pretty much no one but you in any case could ever get into. Also, in-screen fingerprint sensors are just cooler than facial scanning to me. I've seen it work in action on like the OnePlus 6T, and it is incredible. You put your finger on the screen and it just unlocks. On top of that as well, the 2020 iPhones are also said to have 5G support, but 5G is like this whole other beast, and there's like so much controversy and like a race about it already that I don't even know if I'm that excited for the 5G like cellular antenna support, but that is also said to likely be included in the 2020 iPhones as well, but that's not really any new info. Now, you might be asking, if these are going to have a new crazy camera system, 5G support, and even in-screen fingerprint sensing, what are these phones going to look like? Well, I'm still holding by my theory that we may have seen the 2020 iPhone prototype leak already. This is something that OnLeaks, a very reputable leaker with a crazy good reputation, has all these insane connections, shared back in January or February of this year. We thought it was the iPhone 11 at one point. Turns out it was not, but this is a radical change. The camera system is totally different than anything we've seen on an iPhone here. I really think that this still could be our first look at the iPhone 11s or 12, whatever it's going to be called. But let me know what you think about that as well. Do you think we've seen it already, or have I totally lost my mind? You let me know down below. Now, also, while we are in 2020, we travel to the future a little bit. Some sources in the same Barclays note have said that iPhone 8 internals could be coming to an iPhone SE2 model. Some sources were like, yeah, that sounds about right. Other sources had said like, no, we have not heard anything about this. But guys, like, there's so much smoke for the iPhone SE2 for there not to be a fire. I cannot tell you how many bits and pieces since early 2018 we've heard. I just feel like there's no reality where an iPhone SE2 doesn't exist eventually. Some rumors say it would have the exact same design as the original iPhone SE with upgraded internals. Other people say it could have an all-screen design, like a smaller 4 or 5-inch iPhone 10, which would be nuts for it to have a notch. It would be really sleek looking. I could see myself maybe switching to that phone if it actually existed. Maybe most realistically, just as the iPhone SE was a special edition of a 4-inch iPhone that Apple no longer manufactured, maybe the second generation iPhone SE is a 4.7-inch iPhone 7-esque design with newer internals but lower price to compete in more competitive markets like Asia or India. Maybe after all this, the iPhone SE resurfaces as just a commemorative edition of an iPhone from the past. But I just wanted to throw that bit out there because I've gone back and forth 3 trillion times on the iPhone SE2. I almost gave up hope on it, and then recently there was an article about it, and now we're hearing about it again. Like, I just think sooner or later, or in 100 years, or tomorrow, that iPhone SE2 is going to come out one day. All right, so as of right now, that is the latest information about the 2019 and 2020 iPhones. If more information comes out, as always, drop a like down below so you stay up to date on that, as well as hitting subscribe. I think I just flipped those around. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Hit subscribe if you want to stay updated. But that is all for this video. I'm super excited for iOS 13. Again, just a couple days away now, and we'll have it on our actual phones. That's all for now. Drop a like again. I'm just repeating myself. I'll see you guys later.